Welcome to the Bad Bitch Collective podcast. I am your host, Demi motherfucking Cannon. This is the space for black sheep, the misfits, the cycle breakers, the bold leaders who know they weren't born to fit in. You were born to build your own path. Inside, we have the big conversations, the messy ones, and the ones people are usually too scared to fucking have. You'll hear wild success stories, powerful lessons, epic failures, identity shifts, everything in between. No fluff, no filters, just real fucking people having real conversations. So if you're ready to own your truth, trust yourself deeper, and build a life that is unapologetically yours, buckle up, babe. Let's fucking go. Welcome to a new type of episode at the Bad Bitch Collective. We are also doing one with Miss June Mack. So I'm just going to intro my motherfucking self. My name is Demi motherfucking Cannon. I am a leader for intuitives, spiritual business owners who want to live their most fully expressed life while making fucking bank and becoming the human who can actually hold their hectic business with the most fun, joy, and aliveness. We are doing this episode as what I'm going to call a double-ended dildo. Okay, so I'm going to post this on the Bad Bitch Collective, and June is going to post it on hers. So I'm going to hand the mic over to June Skis so she can intro herself.
Well, thank you so very much for passing the podcast hosting mic over to me. It's like a podcast host off today because I've been wanting to get you on my podcast for a while, and I was like, well, I'm on yours. Let's just do a little, what would you call it?
Double-ended dildo.
Double-ended dildo, love it. So I'm June Mack. My podcast is the Intuitive Leader Untamed podcast, and I am a mentor in intuitive leadership. So basically teaching you how to hone in and refine your intuitive intelligence and use that to create alignment with your purpose, your mission, whatever it is that you came here to do, whether that be an author, podcast host, whether you have a business, all of the above. I just love helping people step into their missions and completely have an amazing, extraordinary, freedom-based like business and life. It's sort of similar to what Debbie does, but also different. It's anyway, but we can talk about that. But I have lots of different offerings, I guess, starting from whether it's intuitive awakening you're into, or whether you're into refining, or whether you're into like just creating the most abundant, amazing life. So yeah, there we go. Double-ended intros.
I love this. So, how we're gonna run this is I'm gonna smash June with some Juneski's your name today, apparently, according to my little brain.
I love Juneski. I have a few people that call me
Juneski!
that.
It's like, bro. I'm gonna hit June with some of the big questions that we ask on this podcast, and then we're gonna hand it over, and she's gonna intro me. And I think this is so fucking cool, girl. We
I
might
know,
be creating a new way to do podcasts.
Oh, just kill two birds with one stone. Just double end it like both ways. So I'm ready to be prodded first. Go for it.
All right. So here on the Bad Bitch Collective, my first question that I ask all of the beautiful guests is, what makes you feel like your bad bitch self?
Okay, this is going to be so funny because I almost feel like it's the most annoying, like wanky answer to this question ever. And to be honest, like obviously it's my family, my kids, I'm a mum of three, but also I feel like it's my clients, honestly. Like whenever I'm in my own head and I'm spiraling just about crap and about, oh, I can't do this, this is too hard, like blah, 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 this month has been fucked, da, da, da. It's always my clients that kind of pull me out. And I think like seeing them getting results out of what I do, actually, I don't know if this is like a codependency, but it almost makes me feel like, okay, well, I am doing something worthwhile. Like there are people that I am helping. And I always feel like the messages come at the right time. Don't you feel that? That like you get like these lovely messages like, what you said really helped me and this is what I've achieved and blah, blah, blah. And that helps me come back to myself, which I don't know if it's completely the wrong answer, but that's the first thing that's come to my mind is honestly, the people that I'm here to help, they remind me who the fuck I am.
Yeah.
And
it's
that I
fucking
can do
needed.
this. Yes, I can do this.
Yeah. And I think if I zoom out on that, the answer, like what June's saying there is it's her mission. Like, because what we have to understand is doing this kind of work or running any business, it's fucking hard, bro. And you can try to find the easiest way, but the internal spirals, even if you are the sickest of fucking sick and you're killing it, happens. And so when we focus that part, like on our mission, where it's like, you know what, fuck me, fuck my bullshit, fuck, all the shit I have going on, I'm here to serve.
Yes, absolutely. And that's like That's a lot of what I have to keep bringing myself back to. Like, honestly, it's not all the time, but when I do spiral, I'm always like, why did you start this in the first place? Is literally because you wanted to help people. And that's what you're doing. So shut the fuck up and continue on with what it is that you're doing.
Yeah.
So thank you for reminding me that this week has been that. I need that message this week as well.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think even like sometimes really bringing it back to that, like a lot of people, come in and they get confused because I would love to know your opinion on this, but one of the things I think I see in people why they get so confused is because they're consuming too much. And there's like
Yeah.
every coach, mentor, healer, psychic for something these days. And we've been taught, that we're supposed to tell people about their problems and position our thing as the one and only thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so people get so confused by like, well, then I'm not doing the right thing and what should I be doing? And I think like one thing inside of my offerings lately that I'm really focusing on is fuck what anybody told you. What is it
Yeah.
that you want? And what the
Mm-hmm.
fuck are you actually here to do?
I absolutely love that because that's honestly, and I tell this to people all the time. When I was like floundering around in my business, actually, like it was a hobby, I'll be honest. I wasn't really making much money in the first couple of years of doing it. When I actually started to like make headway in my business was literally when I put the blinders on and I was like, I'm just going to stick in my own lane. And yes, you can have mentors and coaches. They're amazing to get you where it is you need to go. But when you run whatever they say through your own intuitive, intelligence, through your own discernment, and then go, oh, like, I get that, but actually, I'm going to tweak it so that it feels right for me in this way. And I'm going to still continue doing with what feels right for me. And you learn to tune into that. That's like when shit started taking off. When I stopped looking at what, A, B, C, D, whatever we're doing and just was like, no, what actually do I want to do? Even if it doesn't make any freaking sense. That's like the hardest thing is like you go, no, for some reason, every mentor's saying you're supposed to do it in this order, da, 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 da. But I feel like I need to do it this way. And when you do it your way, because we're all here to do different things, like we're all here to express ourselves in different ways. Yeah, that's when shit starts to take off. So blinders
100%.
on. Those are one of
Yeah.
those things that the horses have that like covers their eyes so they can't see. Like
I
that's
don't
what
know what they're called.
spirit literally keeps showing that to me in my head, but I don't know what the fuck they're called. So
What are guys, whatever they are called.
you know what I'm talking about though, right? The
Yes.
horses have those
Yes.
like blinder things on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
put your blinders
Yeah, I
on.
fucking agree. And that's like my biggest pet peeve is that a lot of people choose people because, maybe they've got big results or they're working with whatever. But I think something June and I both have in common is it's about building a business that feels like you and
Yeah, 100%.
following what is aligned for
Mm-hmm.
you.
Yeah. And
100%.
that's why like when people jump on my discovery calls and whatever application calls now, if they're not like feeling aligned with me, but they've just, maybe seen something and gone, oh, you can get people from here to here, but it actually doesn't feel right. You're not so excited to work with me. I'm not going to try and sell to you. Like if it doesn't feel good for you, it doesn't feel good for me. I want you to be dying to work with me. You know what I mean? So I think in the beginning, I was very much like, I would feel bad if someone said, oh, like you don't suit, da da da. Now if they're like, you don't suit, I'm like, sweet, that's amazing. I hope you find someone that does,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will say to anybody listening that saying no like that, a lot of people choose the yes because of scarcity. Oh, I need the client. Oh, I need the blah,
Mm,
blah, blah. But sometimes it's universe and spirit testing you. Like inside of the work that I do around identity, it's like you need to anchor your standards. If you're accepting any bitch that's like a lazy fuck and she's not even going to do the thing or she doesn't really want to work with you,
mm.
but she's outsourcing her power to solve her money problems, like the moment you say no is the moment spirit, universe starts to send you clients who are dying to fucking pay you, ready to do the work.
Yeah, and I'm done with
Yeah.
that also. I'm like, if it just makes it harder for me, if you're not ready to do the work, I want you to come in when you're absolutely ready. And you
Yeah.
can feel it in the other person, like in the client. If they're there, if they're ready to do the work, like get past it, then you can feel it.
Yeah, because most of the time they don't come with the bullshit excuses. Like I've
No.
never ever signed up with a mentor and been like, "Oh, but I don't think I can afford it." Like I will borrow money, I will go sell my ass. I don't care what I have to do. If I want to work with someone, I will figure out a fucking way. I
Yeah.
don't ever come to a mentor or a coach with any excuses
Mm.
about why I can't do the thing. It's like I want you, tell me how much it is, I'll figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I will, and I
Which
only ever jump on an application call if that's the case. Also, I'm like,
yeah.
oh, they haven't
Oh,
advertised they haven't advertised their pricing yet, but I'm just gonna sit there and I literally sit there and I brace. I'm like, oh, what's she gonna tell me? And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. I'll figure
girl,
it
I
out.
did that.
Yeah.
I literally did that with my previous mentor, Athena. I'd like done her channeling spirit program, and
Yeah.
then I was dying to work with her one to one. But girl, I thought it was going to be 20 grand or
Yeah, I
something,
would I would imagine.
right? And I sat there
Yeah.
clutching, and she said to me back then it was like 3.5 grand a month, and I was like, "Phew, are you fucking joking? Oh my god,
Yeah.
yes, ma'am, absolutely, take my money immediately."
That was actually the same with me and Sheila. I literally, because she had no prices anyway, and I thought she was going to be about 20K. And then she was like half. So I was like, oh, but I was just trying to act cool. I was like, I wasn't like, is that all? I was just like, oh, okay, cool. I'll try and work that out for you. And then I was like, yes. Oh my God, I'm so excited.
Yes. All right, that's actually one of like my next one of my next questions talking about like stuff like this is what's something within our industry that you don't agree with?
You
Something
know,
controversial.
it's actually really funny because we sort of already brought it up, which is exactly the thing where so and so says like follow my one and this so and so blueprint and then like get the answer here, but and then you try it and you're like, well, you promised this blueprint was going to work and that didn't work. And when people say, well, this is the only way you can tap in with spirit, any other way is unethical, or this is the only way you get your business, that just literally triggers the shit out of me, because I'm like, why would a one size fit all when not one of us is exactly the same in any particular way? And there's so many people going like, there must be something wrong with me, I did so and so's course or program, and I'm completely burnt the shit out. And I'm like, that is so not in your archetype to work in this masculine way. Like, no wonder why you're freaking burnt out. And it's taken them a while to realize and go, oh, and actually get permission and figure it out that some people, yes, they're very masculine. They can do like, whatever, 6 readings in a freaking day and then they're totally fine. And then other people post twice and they're like dead, like
Yeah.
you just got to find your right rhythm and flow and work with that. And that's why I try actually with a lot of my programs, I try to customize what I do to suit you as an individual, because I've never found, and you'd be the same, 2 people that are exactly the same. Everyone's so different with how they work.
No, and that's like tuning into somebody's blueprint and like what capacity they actually have is really fucking important.
Yeah, well, that's why you don't work with anyone else besides psychics or intuitives these days, is because it's so much easier. They can tap into and feel into it for you.
Yeah.
And,
And also because like for me, I'm not going to lie, I've hired someone who is psychic but leads their business with
masculine.
strategy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fit for me. And the funny thing is they've got channeling and intuitive gifts, but don't use them as often. And when they do use them, oh my God, I was lit up. But solely focusing on this fucking 3D crunching, pushing this strategy, that thing, this build this 7 million fucking sales page, like fuck up.
Also, like females in general, we're such cyclic beings. Like we're like this, all the time. And like I've even found, I don't know, do you cycle sync? Because I try to cycle sync like when I work around actually my cycle also. To a degree, like obviously sometimes you still got to do stuff, but I try to, in the weeks that I am like, in my little want to rest, like period stage, literally, I try to do like admin type stuff, like stuff behind the scenes where I don't have to show my face as much, because I actually find I actually don't want to show myself on socials in those weeks. I just want to go into my little hidey hole. So I schedule it purposely. So I schedule out content for that week that I'm going to be in my hermit phase.
Yeah, no, I love being seen. I froth.
I know.
That's why I'm on my socials 24/7. Like that is
I'm
not a
not.
thing yeah, that's not a thing I struggle with. I even sat with the other day around like Alex Tripod when she invited me to her event that time. Remember that one I went to? Said
Yes.
to me,
Yeah.
if you could be rich and wealthy as fuck, but you could never show it to anybody, would you want that life? And I said, no fucking way. Not because of my ego, but because
Yep.
I want people to, I know I'm a permission slip. So the
Mm.
thought of me, but that's why I'm so like authentic, and I will share when I'm fucking losing my shit, when I'm struggling, everything, because people need to know it's okay. So
Yeah.
I don't struggle with being seen, but I do hear like, and I know that for a lot of people, the content side of things is fucking shit and heavy and hard sometimes. So totally get that.
Yeah, I don't struggle with being seen. It's just more so there are times when I feel like my energy is better invested in, like, say, writing the content and then, like, creating a carousel or something like that way, rather than actually talking it out. And other weeks I can't shut the fuck up. Like, I will use those things and I'll bank them and then I'll schedule them out later. I kind of go with, like, how I'm feeling in that moment. But sometimes, yeah, I'll be honest. Sometimes I'm like, nah, fuck no, I don't want to speak on my fucking thing.
Yeah, and fair
I'll
enough.
just I'll bank that shit up and then like send it out later.
Yeah, and I think this also, even on this point too, like carousels are really good for long-winded shit you need to teach. You know what I mean? Like it's like sometimes to sit there and try to talk in front of the camera for a whole 3 minutes is like cunts are skipping. Whereas
Yeah.
they'll
Oh,
actually take the
100%.
time to read it
Yes.
sometimes, you know?
And also being a mum, like I got 3 kids around. I can't always
Yeah.
be like da 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 da, because I actually don't like to. I show my littlest one, but I don't like to show my older 2 kids, and they're with me like what 90% of the time. So sometimes I literally can't unless my kids are going to be in it, and I don't want to show them all the time. That's just a personal decision. So it's hard. So that's when my carousels come up. Like when I've got the kids around.
which they're always awesome, which by the way, BT dubs, love your content all the time.
Oh, same, you
Love
too.
you. Obsessed with you, bitch.
I was just
Um,
watching yours before we jumped on. I'm
in
like,
my little moment.
what's this chick talking about now? I'm going to go back and watch that properly because I was relating to whatever that was.
I was talking about how I was having a moment and I was like, I'm fucking mad right now.
Yeah.
And
Okay. I need to
yeah,
go back to that because I didn't watch all of it.
yeah. So I also want to ask you something else that I really love to share in here because the point of this is to be like as real as we can.
100%.
What was a time within your life or your business where it was really fucking hard and shit? And at the time you thought this is fucked, but looking back on it, it was like a real shifted things for you.
Oh, do you know what? Probably when I've been in like this type of business for about 6 years. And before that, I was in entrepreneurship for probably like coming up to 11 now, but doing different things, like trying to find my way. Like, where do I fit? Like, I just never felt like I fit in anywhere because it was so different and so specifically different in different ways. And I didn't think that I fit in anywhere. Well, now I feel like, maybe I still do, or don't. But it was probably the point where I'm done having babies now. So this was just last year. So I had my third, she's 2.5. And we'd been saying between me and my husband, I'd been feeling like it was my time to take over like who's the breadwinner. And I really wanted to give and go all into my business. I'd been craving it. I've been wanting the chance to because I've been busy reproducing for like whatever. My oldest is 12 now. I've had the time of supporting him, in his businesses, and then he's been amazing. But I was feeling like it's my time to really put my all into this. And I'm actually going to get emotional around talking about it. But last year, we decided finally we're going to fucking do it. So this was probably around September last year. And we started pretty abruptly, like long story short, the transition of me taking over, giving this a real go, and then him stepping back and doing like school drop off, making the school lunches, all that type of thing, and me trying to, can I, can I make up what you're making financially? Because we both work for ourselves. We don't have like jobs or anything. We've got a house, we've got 3 kids to feed. So honestly, probably the biggest freaking mind fuck of a whirlpool that I've ever been in was the transition from letting go of being the parent that is mostly, doing the parenting to letting him take over sort of that role. But like, I still have a business where it's very freedom based. So I still have so much time with them. But just that mind fuck, I think, in your head of like, am I being a shit mum by doing this? Can I withstand the pressure of actually being the one who's got to like hold this shit together? Like, we could lose our freaking house. Am I going to be able to feed my kids? Like, what's if I fail and fall on my fucking face, like through all of this? And then letting go of literally like fighting over in the mornings. He's like making the school, lunches and stuff. And me having to like hand over the sandwich. And he's like, put it down. I can do this now. Like, I've got this. I was like holding on to that sandwich like it was no tomorrow. Like, no, I do this. Like, this is my job, And he's like, well, I do that now, and just letting that go. That was so fucking hard. And looking back at it now, I managed to replace his income and then some, since.
Wow. Fucking love it.
Yeah. So it was really a really hard transition, but I'm so glad that I didn't. I wouldn't regret anything. We've probably had the best, like, whatever, 10 months of our lives in this phase. And I still go up and down of like, this is a lot of pressure. And then I feel bad because I took him for granted. I was like, you got this, you're fine. And now I'm like, fuck, this is hard, man. Like, this is scary to have like, children dependents relying on you. But his mental health is so much better because he was so stressed. I love my work. He was stressed because he was out of alignment with it. He was meant to let go of it. Whereas I love what I do every day. I'm so excited. And if he said tomorrow, like, okay, pack it in now, you can't do this anymore, he would never do that. But I would be absolutely shattered. I wouldn't change it for like the world because I can't do anything else. I don't know how to do anything else. Like, this is me. This is the only option I have. So I better motherfucking do it.
It's giving Eminem. This is the only motherfucking option. Failure's not.
Pretty much. I was listening to that this morning. It was on the radio.
Oh my God, it's
Yeah, it's my song
confirmation
for
in
the
that.
day. Vomit on my sweater already and mum's spaghetti.
Yes, I love this, babe. And I think it's really cool because, like, even in previous podcasts that I've done, there's this big shift happening around women stepping into leadership roles. And there's a lot of deconditioning that has to happen because what we understand as masculine and feminine roles that society's taught us, they're so old and outdated. And I
Yeah.
think you're like a prime example of a beautiful feminine woman running a feminine business while the masculine holds and supports you, you know?
Yeah, and he's perfect for it. And it's actually really crazy because I've only thought about it this past year. I actually grew up with my dad, who was the stay-at-home dad, and my mum, who went to work. So yeah, it's to me, it's not like that different. And I've picked a male who's quite nurturing, like how my dad was. And so I think like yeah, it's a good example of what it can be. And he's been living his best fucking life. Like he's been loving it. He's been baking. I'm like, shit, you're a better mum than I am. Like, honestly, baking shit, like pre-preparing lunches, dinners. It's been
Darling.
loving it. Yeah. And so
I also
happy.
want to ask you, babe, like the pressure you talked about, because like this
Yeah.
is something that as women, we're very different to men because we are so emotional. And what I am finding inside of the industry is a lot of women are either the pressure is so much they're in burnout and procrastination because they're building in a way that they think that they have to, or they're so stuck in like crash out cycles where it's like a little
Yeah.
bit and then crash the fuck out. And
Yeah.
like this pressure that you're talking about is exactly why I created this retreat, right? It's like
Hmm.
I'd been through a really intense period of deep pressure and I just couldn't fucking move. So like for the listeners and for your humans too, like when this pressure arises, what do you do in those times?
Yeah, and I guess this is where like being in the coaching space or mentoring space, or whatever you want to call it, for like 6+ years comes as a benefit. Working with other people who have taught me tools to pull myself out. I more so now know it's actually okay to be in the feelings and to be in the and sit in the spiral. And actually, there's more power in sitting in what it is that you're going through, feeling it, actually reaching out for help, because it's something I used to struggle with in the past, was actually go, I actually need to talk to my mentor right now, or I need to talk to a friend or whoever and tell them that I'm crashing the fuck out. And then, just have them give me a little slap around the ear hole, almost like enough of that is kind of like how I get myself out. And then also like having this connection, with your intuitive side, with spirit, and sitting with that and go, right, what do I need to do? I literally did that before we jumped on this call because last week I was going through the fields. I was going to show you my notes, but it's stuck under the computer. I was going through the fields because my dad, he passed 4 years ago. It's 4 years ago, but my birthday was yesterday. And if anyone that's been through grief, every time it's like especially a birthday or something and they're not here, I just go back into the feels, and you can't stop your body energetically like doing that. And so I sat with all of that and I made just like shitloads of pages of notes that literally are like, well, this is what you do to get yourself out of it. So having that connection with spirit is also amazing. I also messaged my mentor. Yeah, so I'm hoping like, I actually do intuitively feel like the next 2 days I'll be out the other side. Whereas before I would resist it and I'd fight against it and I'd keep going. And that's how you really that's how you really crash out and end up burnt out, is if you
Yeah.
try and resist. So now it's like, and I hate the saying because like it's so much easier said than done, but surrendering, to that and actually sitting with it than trying to push through.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
totally
that's
hear
how
that.
I'm
I think
at.
sometimes my only thing is like a lot of the work that I do with humans is around the energetic side of things. Like, so how do we keep ourselves and our personal energetic frequency at a level where we're actually still in magnetism and attracting? So, like, for me, sometimes what I find though is people, and this is where discernment comes in, of how long do I sit in it? And then before I start actually either tuning in, practicing certain tools, or doing things to kind of shift my frequency,
Oh
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think like so last week was the week that I was going through it. I think I gave myself one day really where I cancelled, like to be honest, I cancelled a client, and I never freaking cancel clients, and I cancelled them, sat in it that day because I could feel the grief, and I actually so dumb, like didn't know what it was connected to. But when I sat in it, they were like, "Duh, it's because it's your birthday coming up and your dad's still dead." 4 years later. And then kind of just with that acknowledgement, that's kind of just what I needed to understand and then begin digging myself out of the hole.
Yeah.
I just needed a day.
Yeah, yeah. And so and got like and but this is the thing, go like depending on what it is, sometimes it's a day or it's 2 days or whatever it is. I know that I've seen clients and will get stuck in it for months.
Yeah, that's too
Or
long.
you know what I mean? And it's like, fuck me, bro. Like, come
Yeah,
on, we're gonna
yeah.
do something to get the fuck out of this energy.
Yeah, and there's a difference also between like not taking accountability for it and then using it as an excuse. And then also like sitting in it, but then knowing, okay, now what do I do to get out? So, like, example, reach out to your freaking mentor or sit with spirit or whatever and pull yourself out of it rather than continuing to
Yeah.
sit in the wallow. Because in the past, I have gone through ones like before I understood how to get myself out of it that have gone for months.
Yeah,
Like
I
that.
just come out of one. I
Yeah,
just come
right.
out of one.
Okay.
My last podcast was cunt from like December, but I guess the difference was like I am very good at still showing up again. Showing up is
Yes.
something that I do, and I'll do it raw,
Yeah.
I'll do it messy, whatever. But I went through a really long period of spiraling, and even back then I couldn't get myself out of this energy. I couldn't do the
Mm,
practices that I knew worked. And the funny thing is, Spirit said to me, you had to go through this because my journey in business has just been like this. So if somebody had to come to me and said to me, "Oh, I'm stuck in doubt, spiral, fear, I can't move," I wouldn't have been able to relate because I was like, I jumped into coaching, mentoring after being the little healer, and everything for me was like da 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 da. So it's like I had to like drop down and have this lived experience so that I can actually
yeah.
move people through with more integrity, right?
Yeah. It
But yeah,
makes so
girl,
much
get
sense.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes heaps sense.
All right, last question for me is if there was one thing that every single human knew or did that would change their life, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to fuck up. Literally. I think like that's probably the one of the only reasons why I'm still here. And still going in entrepreneurship, like watch 10 years later, is because I have taken how I feel about what people would call failing or failure totally different, where it's like, how are you ever going to figure out or get better if you don't actually fuck up? And there's so many things I look at that I'm like, oh my gosh, like cringing, or I can't believe I did that, or I can't believe I said that, and I still do that on the daily. I'm like, what the fuck, like why would you do that? But, but then being able to take it and go, all right, like what did I learn from that? And you just readjust and then keep on going. And also there was something else that just popped in that I wanted to say, but it's gone. Anyway, that's it. Don't be afraid to fuck up. Keep going. Also, don't be afraid to pivot and change, because I have
Yeah.
changed and had deaths and rebirths 10,051 times. And that's why a lot of people come to me like, what is my thing? I'm like, babe, your thing is like probably 500 different deaths and rebirths from now until then.
Yeah.
Like, just relax and just figure out where you're at now, and you can pivot and change as you go. Like, I started fucking making resumes. So I obviously knew that like part of my life path here, I had that feeling was to help other people step into something of who they want to be and what they want to achieve. It was helping them with their resumes, like lols. That's like completely different from where I am now.
Yeah.
I did business coaching, but without the spiritual side, and that just didn't fucking work for me because, because I thought that just wasn't a thing. I did so many things, like you'll laugh. I've done cleaning, like literally going to people's houses, like arranging their DVDs in order. Like I've been personal assistant.
Girl,
Yeah, like
I
I've done
love it.
everything. I've done everything, but everything that I did and I tried, I learned something that's taken me and gotten me to where I am now. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't be where I am now without fucking up, without trying all the different things. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
and
thank
that's 100% the same thing. And I think even for me personally, all I know is I have to go through lived experience things. So like when people come to work with me inside of the spiritual space, it's like I've been a healer. I've run retreats, I've run
you.
events, I've run a
Yes.
mastermind, I have run podcasts. I like anything you think you want to build or do,
Yes.
memberships, this, that, I've literally fucking done it. So
Mm.
it looks messy as fuck because I've had on
Yeah.
700 different hats, but also I know that I actually have to live through experiences in order to be able to, you can't get a certification for those things, guys. Like, and
No.
also
Yeah.
fuck a certification. I hate those things, but like, there's things that you actually just have to live through in order to be able to, pass on and teach the knowledge.
Definitely. And I didn't
Yeah.
understand because I did like 5 years of professional psychic and mediumship readings,
Yeah.
and I thought that's my thing. And I did healing and I did all these healing modalities and I thought that's my thing. But actually, my thing is to bring all of these things together. And like you said, help you if you're a healer, if you're a psychic, if you're a medium, if you want to make resumes, if you want to write a book, I can help you with all those things too. So
Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Yeah, absolutely got to go through it.
And so, for anybody listening from my end, I will drop June's contacts below. But what are some of the things you're offering at the moment if they feel like really connected with you and might want to work with you?
Well, I have the Intuitive Leadership Academy, which has a range of different tiers now to help you meet you where you're at, either on your intuitive journey or your business journey. Or you can work with me one-on-one. So just find all that stuff on junemac.com. I have one book, Remembering Grandpa, which is a children's book that's come out. Another one that's coming out in September called Trust and Transformation. But you can find me, I'm on Instagram probably the most, Ms. June Mac, but on all platforms as that, and then the Intuitive Leader Untamed podcast. So this episode, which is going to be a mine, thank you.
Woo!
Yay. Oh my God, exciting. Thank you so much for having me. And now, thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Oh, hey guys, we're back.
Double-ended. We're flipping over onto the other side. So yeah, thank you so much for being my podcast. I actually love to have you. I know you've already introduced yourself, but explain a little bit more about what it is that you do. Just so that people can understand. You know how
Sure.
there's like the elevator pitch and then there's like the deeper.
The depths.
Yeah, actually
The
like
depths.
talking it into English so that the normal people can understand.
Hello, normal people.
No one's
I
listening. No normal people
Nobody.
listening to my podcast.
I know. So, okay, so what do? I am a channel, and like I said to you guys, I have done 700 million different things, but my favorite thing to do is find people who want to build something from their soul. And you might right now be a little bit confused about how that looks or what the expression of that is. I love to help people step into more of them because my knowing is the more of you that you are, the more well paid you are, the happier you are. And like I've even said inside of this already, is I want to help people build a business, an empire, a movement that actually feels like them because it saddens me. I see so many people trying all these different things and like I said, listening to everybody else on the internet, and you have a specific blueprint and the way that you are here to express and show up, and even, your creations, like they're an expression. People talk about building, and building is a part, but it's more of an expression. We want things to be an expression of your soul. So my work is in expression, identity, energetics. I can help with strategy because I'm a channel, but it's like 10%,
Yeah.
20% of everything. Everything else is really around like, who the fuck are you being right now?
Mm,
So yeah,
love
that's what I
this.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really funny actually how we connected. So funny story when I think back to it. I don't even know how I started following you. I started following you somehow. And literally, like, when you kind of have that, I don't know if it's like, I call it like a soul recognition of like that person, like there's something about this person. And, you make the scroll stop, which I will definitely give you like hats off, hands down. Like you can't make that scroll stop like the stuff that you post. But I was like, oh my God, who is this chick? And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do a bit of a stalk. I'm going to go and check out her stuff. And then I was like, oh my God, she's got the same branding colors that I have. At the time, we were the same branding colors. And then I was like, oh, she's a business mentor. So that's like what I do as well. And she's a channel. I was like, what the fuck? Like, because I hadn't seen that many around, to be honest, at that time. Now I've seen a lot of them. But I can't even remember how long ago this was. But anyway, I was literally like, oh my God, she's so cool. Like, fangirled you immediately. And Spirit was like, just fucking message her and tell her. So I did. I literally jumped into your inbox and was like, oh my God, I love like everything that you're doing and everything. I just wanted to tell you that. It was something along those lines. And then I think he said, I stalked you too.
Yeah. Yeah. Hello. Reciprocal energy.
Oh, too funny. So, anyway, that's how we ended up in each other's spaces. And since then, we've just been chatting backwards and forwards. But I absolutely love the fact that you've brought people back to being okay with being like themselves and actually showing how much of a strength that is. Because I will admit, even when I first started in this space, I thought like whenever you speak online, whatever, you got to be like a newsreader. I
Yeah.
thought I've got to be like so professional and I've got to like make sure I look good and talk like a news reader type thing. At what point did you realize that like authenticity or bringing people back to like being themselves and not being afraid to stand in who they actually are was a part of what it is that you do? Like
That's a good question. I think because in my own journey, I have worn so many masks and,
mm,
starting off inside of the healer. And I think I want to even highlight something you said before about, I thought this was the thing and I thought that was the thing. And I think we are going to continuously, life is forever evolving and we're forever changing. And we're going to continuously be finding new things about ourselves. But back then I thought I had to wear the spiritual clothes to be the spiritual girl. And I
yep.
had to, alhamdulillah, and ride no penis and drink no alcohol. And I made all these external things mean that then I was powerful, that outsourcing of ourselves. And eventually, like, I don't know, I just thought, like, fuck this. And in my presence, people have always been the most comfortable because I'm ridiculous. I am the most ridiculous. And so like the person you meet online is the person who you also get to be
Mm,
mentored by and everything else. And I could feel this disconnect between my content. If I showed you previous content, and I just became more of myself. And I was like, why do I feel like I need to mask who I am online or who I am to my clients? Like, it's exhausting. The
yeah.
healer archetype, I, sat in sessions thinking to myself, shut the fuck up. I'm so sick of hearing you go on and on about this same thing you've been talking about for 6 sessions. Bless your soul. Like, when I really want to say, babe, get the fuck up. And so it was really for me unmasking, and then just practicing being my most ridiculous self. And I honestly, that's when I've had the most like impact. I have a collective audience of nearly 70,000 followers.
Yeah.
And,
Same.
like I
Clap,
am
clap, clap.
very good at the visibility aspect. I know how to grasp attention. I have a very silly side, but I'm a very deep person. So it's the balancing act of both of those parts for me.
And I think a lot of people will relate to this because probably one of the biggest things that people come to me for is being afraid to step out of the spiritual closet, like literally being afraid of showing their spiritual self. And I was the same when I first did my first intuitive development program. I had this fear like, oh my God, like I'm going to change and I'm going to be one of those chicks that like dances around in blood under the full moon. Like, and I'm going to be, I'm going to lose all my hilarious, being funny and my personality and all this stuff. And when I actually then stepped into the spiritual space and realized like, actually you can keep the parts of you, whatever the fuck you want to keep, and you can still be yourself and then still be like, super spiritual and do weird ass shit, but also and then like maybe dance under the full moon but still be yourself, and not
Yeah.
lose that part of yourself also, which has helped a lot of people, like then be brave in stepping out. So in saying that, what the question that I had for you was, when you were coming out of the spiritual closet or when you were like, removing these masks, as you're saying, like, and becoming more of yourself, like what kind of a process was that for you? Because for me, it was very much a process. It wasn't just like one day I was like, yeah, cool, like I'm just going to be myself and then, step out and still say, still swear. Like I didn't swear for ages on the front line. It was like a piece by piece kind of
Yeah.
unmasking. Like, yeah, did you just flip the switch or were you like, do you reckon it was like, are we still unmasking? I feel like I'm still unmasking,
We're always going to unmask me
honestly.
because we're always discovering new parts of ourselves. And I talk about being a swinger, right? Not just sexually. I'm talking about like a swinger. We swing on the pendulum. So the more in our work that you do, you might start off over here, super inside of yourself, boxed in, Miss Professional, rah rah. You start to do this deeper identity work and you swing out a little bit. And now you might come way out the gate and then you swing back and back and back until you find some sort of center. But at each and every layer and level, you uncover more of yourself. Like, you do more identity work. I don't know. You get more comfortable expressing yourself online. Whatever it is, you swing on the pendulum, soft girl to like super harsh, then to find your center. So I definitely think it's always a process. But for me, what it was, I came from like super woo woo. I was one of them bitches that was like the alhamdulillah, like, you know, no, seriously, because I am the type of person like I am all fucking in with
Yeah.
everything. I don't half dip my dick into stuff. So I'm like all
Yeah.
in. So when I was full spiritual, it was like hectically woo woo. And then I swung out into like, okay, now I'm going to go out on the weekends all the time, get drunk as fuck and shake my ass and whatever else. And so like this
Mm.
constant kind of
Backwards
swinging
and
and
forwards.
yeah. And so
Yeah.
like even now I'm in this centering phase of I can be this woo woo and I can also be this outrageous and I can also
Hmm.
be funny and also be deep.
Yes. Yep.
The polarity.
Yes, love that. So good. How did you actually get into this? So this is something that I've always been intrigued in, and I've actually never even asked you this question before. I was saving it for the podcast. Your So people who are listening to my podcast kind of know a little bit about my background. Like, for example, I started more so in like not corporate, but it was sort of like HR management, operations, and retail. Like training type stuff, and it's kind of you can sort of see how all of that has weaved into kind of what I'm doing now. But I know that you had struggles with addiction. I don't know the full story on that. I know that you felt like I think you weren't working for a period of time, and then like now I feel like you're just this big ass boss bitch. Like tell us, the story of then how you found the spirituality, how you got, tell us the story like from the beginning, but also obviously like not 5 hours
Sure,
long.
version.
Yeah. As
um
much as I'd love to hear it, but
of
like,
course, we'll have
yeah,
to catch up with for margaritas for the real one.
I know.
Um,
Yes.
so I was a drug addict for 10 years. I was addicted to hard drugs like ice and things like that. And the
Yep.
funny thing is, even all the way back then, I had psychic gifts that I didn't know were psychic because people would always
Mm.
come to me. And for anybody who's listening, sign your psychic. People would always come to me and tell me all their things. And I would just have this insane advice that even I was like, bitch, where the fuck did that come from? Like, what do you mean you just said that? You've never been divorced. So I had all these gifts and I'd always been like serving and helping others and kind of, inside of that energy. Coming towards the end of my addiction, I had a partner who worshipped Satan.
Oh wow,
So
any of this? Oh
yeah,
dude, we need these margaritas. I have so many
oh
questions.
girl.
Like we could go for quite a
So
while.
I kind of had started delving into before then a little bit, crystals and oracle cards. And then I got with him and he taught me this whole other side of like energetics and spirituality. I then went from there into a Christian rehab. Can you see the polarities of my entire
Yes. Oh my God.
um but before I'd gone to rehab, I'd started studying holistic counseling because I could see in myself that I loved, even with all the addicts that I hung around, I loved serving, I loved helping, I had a gift for this. So I
Hmm.
studied holistic counseling, got out of rehab, thought that any Reiki or energy practice was of Satan, had to decondition myself around that work, and
Mm.
then became a fucking healer. Did that for a year, like you, hobby kind of style, but
Yeah.
just wanted to help people. And then, yeah, started developing like a program. My first program was an inner child healing container. I landed consistent $5,000 months with that. Realized I fucking hate being just a healer. And, you know, started doing mentoring, coaching, and hit my first $10,000 month. And then just, yeah,
Went from there.
yeah, and like
Yeah.
really just I love seeing I'm a Sagittarius and a manifesting generator, so everything for me is like expansion. I do shit quickly, but one of my favorite things is really igniting self-belief and passion back in others. I
Mm.
want people to believe in themselves.
Yeah.
I believe in people so deeply because I can see their potential.
Oh, I
And
feel
so
like we're
my
saying,
thing is,
yeah.
yeah, I want you to believe in yourself so much. And I
Yeah.
fucking love you and I want to support you and I want to encourage you and I want to help you become and build the thing. So yeah, that's how we got here.
Amazing. I feel like we're so the same in that aspect because that's honestly the biggest part for me is I've always, and you would have been the same, been able to see the best in somebody else. And it's just like the best feeling when they then also get to see that best version of themselves and
Yeah.
see that coming out. That's like literally what, and that's when people say like, don't you ever get like competitive or like, feel jealous when you see other people and they're coming out and they're doing their things? Not saying that that's a bad thing because that's a normal thing to absolutely feel that way. But for me, I actually don't. I'm actually like, fuck yeah, like that's amazing. Like I
Yeah.
fucking wish I could do that. Or it's so good to see them like coming out as the best version of themselves. But But would you say that the healing aspect or going down the healing avenue is kind of like what helped you out of the addiction? Do you think like that's part of what pull you out of that?
I did a year in rehab, and I think what happened for me was I've always meant to be a leader. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? I've never really been a follower or a sheep. So it's kind of like I've always meant to be a leader. So even inside of the rehab, I stayed there and worked there for a year leading the women. So I became the house supervisor.
Oh,
So
wow.
all of
Yeah.
these skills and all of this I kind of naturally cultivated that, which is again probably why stepping into running events and all those things, I wasn't scared because I'd cultivated some level of, leading already,
Yeah.
which again, it takes a little bit to cultivate if you've never been inside of spaces. But I'm also very adaptable. Like I'm very intuitive, very adaptable, pick up on things like quite quickly, like fast for me. So yeah, but the healing, everyone has to go through the healing phase. It's essential. You don't get to just land in any form of business and not go through 7 million shadow ego deaths and, want to burn your
Yeah.
entire life to the ground.
Yeah, the reason why I asked that question is there's lots of people that, I've interviewed or, that are clients that have been through other different types of modalities, for example, or like counseling, seeing psychs. And then the thing that actually got them out of, what they were going through or got them through the other side was actually the spiritual aspect or like the healing side that sort of led them down that route was
Yeah.
kind of like, yeah, the question where I was
No,
going with that.
well, I think the funny thing is for me is in high school, I wanted to be a psychologist. And then
Mm,
I obviously
yeah,
went down the path of drugs, and that opened my mind up to the world definitely not being black and white like I'd always thought it was.
yeah,
And like truthfully, I respect psychology for some things, but I can't fucking stand it because I hate boxers. And
yeah.
I'm so grateful now that I didn't do that because I don't believe in it. I don't believe in the labels. I don't believe in the pills. I know that sometimes it serves and people get shitty about this. And I say like I understand mental health is a thing. I don't agree with the way that mental health is prescribed or tried to be
Mm,
fixed. I
yeah,
think that
yeah.
it's such a deeper root energetically than people understand.
Yeah, no, I probably agree with that too. It's funny also because you're saying you had to decondition from like what you'd learned. I was actually brought up Catholic. So, and like, Filipino mum who that's all they know is like super Catholic. We had to go to church every Sunday. And not saying that necessarily like from my mum's side, she was actually always been super supportive, but definitely family members, like, because, I don't know if you have a lot of Filipino friends, they're like, can be harsh as fuck. Like, my aunties, oh my God. But the whole like you're doing Satan's work by being intuitive, by connecting with spirits, that was a big thing for me of telling them what I actually do now. I had aunties saying, don't open your third eye. Like you're not meant to open it. Here's some spells. They're giving me these traditional spells to like close down your third eye. So it was really hard, kind of like, yeah, even just coming out of that Catholic box into this one, which is like, you know what, I'm just going to believe what I feel feels right for me. And I wanted to ask you too, because this is something that my listeners like to know about, is how you were saying people were coming to you for advice, like always, you always like were able to channel shit. Did you have experiences with like spirits and all that type of thing growing up? Like, did you have any inkling that you would be like super intuitive later on? Like now looking back, because you know how you look back in hindsight and you go, oh shit, like that's actually not normal.
Yeah. Um, no, I didn't grow up in a space where any of that was a real thing ever. Like I never
Right.
thought I was special. I didn't think, oh my God, I saw spirits. Like none of that was a thing for me. It's never been a thing. I've always felt things very deeply, but I just, and I was told that I was overly sensitive and all of those like things as a normal child. My ear is ringing, spirit. Sorry. But the probably only thing I could say relate to potentially was my nan used to make me watch Days of Our Lives. Do you remember that show?
Yes. Oh my God. I used to watch that with my
Girl,
husband's Nana.
whatever that lady was in it, Marlene or whatever her name was, used to scare the
Can't
shit out of
remember.
me. And I used to lay in bed and I used to feel something enter. And I feel like I've gone through in my spiritual journey because I don't see physically spirits, the
Hmm.
clairvoyant energy, and I've had to request to open it many times. But I think that's where I shut that off. But no, I didn't grow up in a
Yeah.
household where that was like a whole thing. And I never really thought I was special. Now I do, but I didn't think
Mm.
so when I was younger.
Yeah, so you never had like, because Spirit would go, I had an imaginary friend, like literally. Oh my God, and the camera just all flickered then. Did you see that? I had an imaginary friend who my mum thought was an imaginary friend, but I was definitely talking to spirit like back then. So you didn't have experiences or
No,
anything
babe.
like with ghosties. That's sick. I love that because so many people are like, well, I never naturally had that, so I can't, bring that. I'm not intuitive. I'm not psychic. When it's absolute bullcrap because you actually
It
don't need
is.
to have that, yeah, to be
No.
able to connect. And did you go through intuitive development, or is it something that you kind of just like figured out how to sort of do it on your own, channel on
Something
your
I
own?
figured out. Like it's
Oh, I like
literally
that
something I just figured
too.
out. And then do you know what's hilarious is true to my manifesting generator style, I started teaching it without ever studying anything.
I mean, you do it how you do it, right? I did learn, so I did
Yes.
learn from professionals. However, I actually what I learned from professionals was take how you do it.
Yeah. You don't teach it like that, right?
And
Like this is the
I
thing.
don't, yeah. And
No,
I
that's
actually didn't need to do it, but that's what
yeah,
helped me at the time to get
yeah.
confident with it. So I did do it. I did get something out of it.
That's my
But
whole
all,
thing about like certifications too. So I fucking hate
mm,
them. I think that people need
yeah,
to understand how to hold safe spaces. But honestly, like if I was to ask any solid practitioner or business owner now, do you use any of the things that you learned from your modalities? Most of them would say no. Everybody switches eventually to trusting their own fucking intuition and building
mm,
things their own way. And
yeah.
that's like the shit I kind of want to help to is you don't need more certificates, motherfucker. You need to
No.
trust yourself.
Yes, that's number one is self trust because then
Yeah.
even if you have learned all these modalities, you trust yourself enough to take, I'm going to take that from Reiki. I'm going to take this part from kinesiology. I'm going to take this part of homeopathy and bring that into my own thing to help you. Like I'm going
Yeah.
to bring all these things that feel good for me from what I learned to teach you. And
Yeah.
that's kind of like what I do because I did do like a fair few modalities.
Me
But
too.
then nothing resonated with me. Like I was like, Reiki's got too many fucking steps. I couldn't tell you one freaking symbol or whatever that I learnt. And I feel like what we do or what you do, what people out there do is so much more powerful than like the one, two, three,
Yeah.
four, five, six steps or whatever that you learn because you're taking that directly from ancestral lines of, years and years of using your abilities in different lifetimes. But in saying that, going to round it up, what would you say, I guess? So, seeing that you're on the Intuitive Leader Untamed podcast, I'm almost afraid to ask you this question because you are Demi motherfucking Cat. What would you say would be the most untamed, like outrageous thing about you as like a mentor? Oh, wait, before you answer that question, there's one thing I've been wanting to ask you. Sorry, put a pin in that. I saw this thing that I can't remember if it was in a podcast. No, it was like a clip of a podcast episode where you were saying you self pleasure and then use it for manifestation. And
Yeah.
I'd never heard of this from anywhere, but it makes so much sense to me and I'm intrigued.
Mhm.
So I wanted to know, like, tell us your methods. Why does that work and how? Because it makes sense, but also I don't know how to explain how that makes sense. So I feel like
Sure.
as soon as I heard a snippet on your thingy and I was like, fuck, I gotta ask her about this shit.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, tell me.
Well, I mean,
Answer me
okay,
why.
absolutely. Let's talk for a second about like our womb being the center of creation,
Yep.
right? Yeah, and we understand
Yes.
that
That's
a
why that makes
woman's
sense. Yes.
yes, a
Yep.
woman's sexual energy is from her
Mm-hmm.
womb center.
Yep.
So, when you think about pleasure, the energy of pleasure, the energy of magnetism, right? It's a fucking attractive. Sexual energy is attractive, right? When someone's
Yeah.
feeling them fucking selves, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, like that's a vibe. Or a woman who's confident, same thing, all from the same center. So
Yep.
when you self pleasure, and then after that moment, like so graphic here, but if you know me too bad, get over it.
No,
When
I'm
you're
all about the
inside
graphic.
of
That's
like
why I'm like, I gotta ask her.
yeah. Well, after you orgasm, right?
Yeah.
After you orgasm, and then if you lay there, you can feel your entire all of your centers literally open up. Like it
Okay.
is, you are
Yep.
so open. And then in that moment, right after you reach your pinnacle, I close my eyes. I've been doing it for my retreat, and I close my eyes and I picture right at the doorway hugging all the 11 women
Right. So
that attend.
visualizing. Yep.
Yeah. And then that's it. Thank you. And I
That's how
say
you
thank you.
magnetize. Yeah. Okay. Literally, I'm like writing out the steps because I'm like, I just got to understand this, visualizing basically, but then using your body's energetic state. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because you got
That's
to remember, like,
crazy.
it's a felt sense and a felt
Yes.
state. Like, if
Yeah.
you're already in that sexually open, creation energy, and then you visualize, like, babe, I've manifested like crazy shit doing stuff like that.
I know.
Like,
You go and watch all the people now who are just going to be manifesting their, their best lives by this method.
please do it. Go play with yourself 10, 20 times over a day if you need to be manifesting the life that you
Demi,
want.
you need a trademark. You need to come up with a name for this manifestation technique and
Babe, it's
trademark
called
it.
sex magic. It's an actual thing.
Well, see, I didn't, no idea. That's why I was like, I think I might have seen it when you were talking about your retreat. Actually, I sort of skimmed past it, and I was like, wait, hang on. I feel like I have 10,000 questions to ask about this. So, thank you for filling us in on that. Being untamed, also. Oh my God, yes. Why are you so untamed?
Why am I so untamed?
What is the biggest part that you think that I guess is out of the box for you versus like other people that are in our space?
My expression.
Okay, yeah.
It's my expression.
Yeah.
It's how ridiculous and bold and I say the things that people probably aren't willing to say, and I show up in ways that probably aren't super, like a lot of people, again, try to be that pretty professional, personal, like polished version. And I'm here for the people who are like me and don't want to build in a way that's performative or masked. Like, if you're a ratchet ass bitch who swears her ass off, like, I want you to know that it's okay to be like that. And so I'm way out the gate with stuff, like I'm really ridiculous with the things that I say. That's probably the most untamed thing, because I know that there's people that are like me, and they probably need to go through an unmasking process to bring this out of them, to let this come back alive. So yeah, that would be my most untamed thing, is my expression, for sure.
Very, very on brand. Good answer. And where can people find you if they want to find you? Where are the most places you're most active on?
Yes, Instagram, Demi Cannon. You can find me on TikTok. TikTok's a wild ride. We have many things going on over there. But yeah, or website, just demicannon.com. I have 2 M's in my name, but we'll both tag stuff below anyways. Yeah, by the time this comes out, I don't know if my retreat's already run. You can ask to sign up to the next one, Play, Pleasure and Purpose. Otherwise, I've got 1-to-1 spaces open, because I'm building out my little next level of group stuff. So yeah.
When's your retreat again?
The Lionsgate Portal weekend, 6th to the 9th. Get this, I make a reel, of course, I make a reel trying to be somewhat like normal, and Instagram types over it, dicks to the 9th.
What?
Yeah. Dicks, penises. And I'm like, of course, like, why would I ever try to be anything but just my actual fucking self?
So wait, is that posted? Or is that, I need to find this freaking post.
It's on my reel. Yeah, I changed it for my
God.
ad, but I was like, fucking hell, are you joking? Like, I'm just not even going to bother ever trying to be anything but me. Seriously.
Oh, it's like what happened that time that you posted that ad and it was in Spanish. Like, that was hilarious, the sales ad. What was that trying to tell you? Oh,
Take it over the world, all over the world, baby.
Yeah, pretty much, probably. Oh, Espanol. Speaking Espanol. But thank you so much for today. Thank you so much for being on my podcast. Go and check her out. Absolutely. You know what? You definitely have changed the way that I show up as well. Also, I feel like you definitely give permission more so to like be yourself. So I feel like I definitely seeing you and you doing your thing has almost like given me permission to like be more of myself. So thank you for doing that. You're doing amazing work in the work. I know. I love you too. Fangirl. Still fangirling over here.
I'm still fangirl you, bitch. I'm obsessed with you.
Same. So let's be obsessed together in this double-ended episode. So thank you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you, Jeannie. Love you.
Thanks. Love you. Bye.
If you loved this episode, it would mean so much to me if you were to subscribe to this, and also if you were to share this with somebody who you know needs to get the fuck out of their own way and start stepping into their most authentic, wealthy, successful, bad bitch self. If you'd like to connect with me deeper, you can find me at Demi Cannon across all platforms. And if you'd like to work with me at a 1-to-1 or in one of my group containers, the links are down below. I love you. Go do the fucking thing.